What has been years in the making for me, we're gonna go back in time to take a look at a Voltron that maybe you don't know much about. Let's do it. What is happening, folks? It is Jimmy G in the place to be, bringing you back to another episode of The Good, the Bad, the Awesome, where we unbox, give my first reaction to all things pop culture. So if you like to see what I see, when I see it, you see it, hit that like, subscribe, get notified when we have new videos. And if you're already doing that, thank you so very much. Well, before we get into what we want to talk about, first of all, I just want to say thank you to everybody. We hit the 4,000 subscriber milestone. So we will be having a giveaway coming up soon in the new year. And I haven't forgotten about the Transformer TFCon giveaway. It's just been so busy. So I will get to that and you will get that giveaway. So, but also I just want to let you know about a new show that I am on with Billy the Kid's Toy Reviews, and we host it on the Transformers Underground. It's called The Forge, where we talk about the latest and greatest in third-party Transformers and debate and have some healthy fun. So definitely take a part in that. And I'll put a link down to Billy's channel down below, so that way you can kind of take a look at that as well. And so, but what we're going to go over today, we're going to take a retro toy review, and we're going to take a look at one of my I guess grails, so to speak, and it is a Voltron, and it's not the Lion Voltron or Go Lion. It is not Dairugger or the Vehicle Force Voltron. It is the one that really didn't make it over to the States. The toys did, but it didn't make it over here. And I'm talking about Voltron II or Albegas. And so this one's been like, I've been several years in the making, because I've been able to find the black one. I got a good black one here. I've been able to find the red one, but to find the blue one in great shape, that was hard to find. Most of them are broken and stuff, but then finally, after a couple months, I was able to find one. Don't ask me how much I paid for it, but I was able to find a blue one, and we're gonna take a look at them. I don't know how much I'm gonna play with these, just with the fragility of these guys, but we're gonna take a look at Alpha, Beta, and Gamma, and see and talk a little bit about this Voltron. Let's go do it at my lab. All right, folks, here it is. This is like 3 years in the making for me of getting these robots. And so the black and the red were easy to get, but the blue one, this one right here, was hard, because anytime there was a blue one, it's usually broken. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if it's the fragile plastic, I think, that was in it. But the black and the red you could find. The blue was the hard to find one. And what's crazy is this Voltron never made it to the United States in cartoon form. And so this was Voltron 2. The Japanese anime name for it, I believe, is called Lightspeed Electroid Albegas. And so it's about these three robots, Alpha, Beta, and Gamma, that form Voltron. And what's interesting about it is there's like several different iterations that you can do depending on the battle. And so, but this was supposed to be like the third arc in the Voltron story. It's supposed to be continuity. So you had Go Lion with the Voltron Lion Force, which most of us know, which was from the Far universe, and then the second arc, which was the Voltron Dairugger or the Vehicle Voltron, which was the Near universe, the one that was closest to Earth. But because that one didn't do too good here on American soil, they scrapped their plans for the Middle universe, Voltron 2. But the toys were made, and so they had to release them. But what's interesting about these guys is they can change their different formations. I mean, you can have black, blue, red, black, blue, black, red. You can have all sorts. And each of those formations basically had different kind of uses. So like, for example, the primary form of the Gladiator Voltron would have been the black, blue, and red. And this would have been the one that utilized the blazing sword. This has a blazing sword. This doesn't come with it, but this Voltron does have a blazing sword. but I'm excited because Action Toys is releasing an Albegas, and I can't wait for that one to come out. And so that one will be fun. I might have to get a couple of them just so I can play around with those. And then you have the black, red, and blue combination, which were good for space. The blue, black, and red, which was good for atmospheric flight. The blue, red, and black, which was good for out underground. And then red, black, and blue, which was good for water. And then red, blue, and black, which was good for rescue missions and things like that. So that's it. That's these three. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take each individual one out of the box. Now, these boxes are in bad shape, but I am glad I do have them. Now, they have some of these online that are in mint condition, but you're going to be paying about $3,000. I got these for a steal of a deal. Most of the time, you're going to find this one for about the blue one over here, for about $400, 200 on these guys. So yeah, you're going to be paying a pretty penny, and that's for used. And these are used. This one is, but they all look really, really great. But here, I'm going to get this box. Well, I'm going to get this blue one out of the way and show you kind of maybe the red Voltron, which one is this one? This one's Gamma, right? If you know the Greek alphabet, right? This is the front of the box, shows you the Gladiator, the side of the box, the three, the back, which shows you every single Voltron you can collect. I've got this guy right here, I've got this guy right here, now I've got this to complete it. I need these two miniature ones to kind of complete the ones that came out from Matchbox, and then you have this one here too as well. And this was the first release of this. Now this was the only release of this, except for the Japanese version that they had. But let me do this. Let me gingerly take these out of the box, and then we'll kind of just go over them a little bit. Bum, 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 bum. So here they are, Alpha, Beta, and Gamma. And the way you can tell the difference between them is the Greek alphabet on them. Of course, this is the Alpha, Beta, and Gamma right here. And these three are beautiful. I mean, they're in really, really good shape for how old of a toy these are. And I am so glad to have these. And I cannot wait to get the reissue by Action Toys, because that one's going to be one that I can really play with. This one I'm going to have to be very, very ginger. I'm still debating whether I combine them or not, because I know this guy right here, Beta, is going to be, I'm a little bit scared of Beta right here. But Alpha and Gamma, there they are, the three amigos right here. So let's take a look at them individually. So let me move Beta to the side, and we'll move Gamma to the side here. We'll take a look at Alpha and bring him in closer for a closer inspection. But let's take a look. That head sculpt looks really, really nice. From a height standpoint, I don't have my ruler on me. I should be more prepared, but here is my phone. It's an iPhone 14 Pro, so you can kind of see from that kind of standpoint of how big he is. I'll get some other bots in here to compare them in size too as well. Maybe grab my ruler when I get a chance to, but there, look at the head sculpt right here. Really, really cool. I love that each of these have a different head sculpt and kind of a different shape right here. So each are unique in their own way, even though they're similar forms. And so, but they're on the legs, you can see just really, really nice. It's die cast and plastic. And I think that was what's kind of like just the scary part about this, is the die cast is good, but the plastic and the die cast just don't like to mix a lot of times. But this just looks really good. Got the stamp back here, 1983, when this was made. It does have some wear on the chrome right here, some scratches right here, but overall a very good robot. Now, from an articulation, the head does not move, but you do have movement in the arms. The arms, you have 90-degree bend. The legs, you do have a little bit of bend there, and then that's about it pretty much from a standpoint of movement. Is all you get is that. You don't get a waist twist or nothing. So this is just a toy that is left to your imagination on that. Now this little mechanism back here is the part that you got to be very, 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 very careful about, because this mechanism helps shrink the body down, so that way when you do form them into their different forms, you can. But let's move alpha out of the way. Let's bring beta in. So this is the one that's the rare, the hard, the one that's kind of harder to come by whole, because it does break very easily. And this one looks like, so far, everything looks really good. Doesn't look like it has any breakage. Doesn't look like it's been trying to be fixed or anything. 1983, Bandai, Japan. This one doesn't have the Bandai. Yeah, it does. Japan, Bandai. All the different markings on these guys. Again, same articulation, but beta looks a little bit different. Has the wider hips here, which is interesting. Oh, well, you can push those in. So there you go. There we are. So the hips are pushed back in. Hips don't lie. But that is him. I don't know if the legs looks like they're put on in the wrong way. Yeah, someone put these on backwards. So we got to get those back on the right, because that shouldn't be sticking out like that. So yeah, these legs are on backwards. So this leg should be over here, and this leg should be over here. Or maybe vice versa. I don't know, because I have not had this toy before. So that is beta in a nutshell right there. Looks really gorgeous. This is the best looking of the bunch. Doesn't have much scratching. So whoever had this one took very, very good care of it. So very, very thankful that they did. This one has feet that do move a little bit, but that's about it. So there's not, again, much articulation. And then here is Gamma. Love the roundedness of this one, whereas you got the boxiness of beta, and you got kind of the angular of alpha. You got the roundness of gamma here, and gamma just is looking really, really nice. Got a couple big gouges, scratches right in here, but overall still beautiful, beautiful bot for the age that this thing is. And that red just really, really pops. You can't see any yellowing or anything like that. So just a really, really nice. And again, no breakage. You got the Japan Bandai on the back. So really, really nice looking here. So I'm going to take a look at some pictures to see if these legs are on the right or the wrong way, because I think they go on this way with that stuff. Yeah, because you have the symbols on the outside. So I'm going to try to get the legs back to where they need to go. So give me just a second. Okay, back. I did change the legs out. So the legs are normal, the way they should be. Boom. They are all changed. And I'll show you how you can do that here in just a little bit. But height standpoint, I did get my ruler. So you're looking at about 6 1/4 inches tall. So when we compare that to some other bots, so this is G1. This is actually the reissued G1 Optimus. My other G1 Optimus is in truck form, but that's how he compares. He's about the same size as Optimus Prime. So you can kind of see that there. Let me show you with a modern day bot. So Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. So that's what he's going to look like compared to that guy on there. So that's how he looks compared to a few other bots. So let me show you just really quickly how you can kind of start taking these things apart and kind of combining them. And so this is the instructions. This is the only instructions I've got here, and it tells me very little on what to do. It says do not lift shoulder in direction shown by arrow. Do not push leg guides down past the angle shown. Make sure the robot's legs are pulled out all the way before locking in place. If they do not pull out fully, push back against the body and pull out again. So it does tell you, says these robots are precisely made, so do not break them. Full length, 85 feet, weight 400 tons, speed Mach 2 for the Gamma robot here on that. So just to show you kind of, so you can kind of see here. So we're going to move the arms out of the way really quickly. But here you can kind of see where these are right. So and you can pull the legs and slide these out like that. Now that you have that slid out, you can actually come back here and then just kind of slide the legs back. And this is where you got to be a little bit careful, because this part is the part that breaks the most on these guys. So you got to be very, very careful. This one is not wanting to move that well. There we go. Got that one out. And then the other leg, I'll see if I can get that out without trying to force it too bad. So it just wants to stick. There we go. But again, this is where things can get stuck and things can break. So we want to be very, very careful. And I'm going to do this off camera so that way I can be careful with it. So legs are off, legs are out. So there is that. Now, what you want to do is you want to collapse these legs. So the thing you got to do is you got to open this, and then you push this down, and then you can push it back in. And now the leg is much shorter. And you do the same with this other side, push it down, and it should all lock into place like so. Then the next thing you want to make sure you can do here is you want to kind of just lift the torso, and you use this little mechanism here, and you push this in, and that is how you kind of lift the torso up so you can kind of get ready to combine. Now with the black one, you probably want to keep the arms where they're at, but to remove the arms, you push this and you move these out of the way, and you can move them to the side, down, you can move them down, and this is kind of like where you kind of store them. But with the black one, we want to keep the arm in because we're going to use him as the top of our Voltron robot. So we've got that done, and so next we got to do is we're going to combine, and we're going to get them all to pieces and combine them. So let's do that. And here you have it, folks. Albegas Voltron 2 put together in his combined form. Now, again, you can mix and match however you want to with these guys, but this is kind of the way I am going to have him. I'm going to pull this, let me pull these shoulders out a little bit. That's the way, yep, there we go. And so, but this is like the ultimate Voltron form. So the one that can do the blazing sword. Now, what some people do is now I'll turn this around so you can kind of see it. The arms, you know, you can pop them like this. You can push them straight down. Some people like to have the arms out. So you have like a 3-armed Voltron or 6-armed Voltron. However you want to do it, it's your toy to play with however you want to. I did it like this because this is what the box showed. Let me get the box here so you can kind of see it. So there is the box, and so that's the reason I did it like that. But I put the blue behind in the front instead of the red, so that I can switch around if I want to. Just kind of put the beta on the back and the gamma on the front. But it's however there's like unlimited possibilities with this thing. Now combining it, you have to be very, very careful, and you have to do things in sequence. So for example, you've got to pull these shoulders out before you shove the rest of the body in, so that way you can get it works best. If you try to force it, you're going to break it because the plastic, especially underneath here, is very, very fragile. So you got to be very, very careful with it. But overall, though, it combined pretty well. So you can kind of see it just from the front, the side, the back, and then the side. And I don't know if this is supposed to go in a little bit more. Someone can tell me. I would love to know because that would make it more stable. But this is how he looks. And so from a height standpoint, what you've got all the way from stem to stern, you're looking at now all combined. He is about a little under 10 inches. So that is kind of how big he is. So when we look at him compared to, let's say, a G1 Optimus Prime, that's how he's gonna size. Now, when we look at him compared to the other Voltrons, he's dwarfed compared to the other Voltrons. And so I'll bring those in just a moment. But let me switch to handheld mode. I gotta take it off of stabilization so I can do that. So as we go handheld, but let's just take a closer look. There he is. I mean, you can just see just overall a really cool combination that you can do here with this guy. So again, not most people don't know this guy, and so they just don't know that he is a Voltron. And hopefully I can do one of the Voltron we never got, which is Daltonius. So that would be kind of cool. I'm hoping to do that in the new year. If I can find a good one for a good price, I would love to do that. But there he is. There is Albegas to go along with Go Lion and Dairugger. So just very, very nice. Let me see, can you turn him to the side so you can get a kind of a side profile look of him. Just a fun little bot, and just the engineering that went into this back in the day. I'm very, very in awe of what they did with this bot. But again, it's just one of those things that if you were a kid, you probably broke this. And that's why a lot of the blue bot, for some reason, the blue was fragile and was broken more often than not. So, but yeah, let me get back down to stationary mode, and I'll show you the other Voltrons compared to Albegas. Okay, folks, so here he is. And so let's bring in Go Lion. This is Voltron 3 right there. So, which is interesting that's Voltron 3, he's Voltron 2, and Dairugger is Voltron 1 here. So let's bring in Dairugger. These are all the Generation 1 vintage original guys here. I gotta straighten his head, but I gotta get, Dairugger is the biggest of them all. Look at how huge he is. But 1, 2, and 3. So near universe, middle universe, far universe for Voltron lore. So, but yeah, there they are. These are all three the originals from back in the day. So very, very cool, very fun. I am glad to complete this collection of my vintage Voltrons. And so let's go back and talk to Jimmy in the chair and see what his final thoughts are. So back for my final thoughts on Voltron 2 Albegas, Gladiator Voltron, whatever you want to call him, Voltron of the middle universe that never made it to the Americas. The cartoon never made it to us, so most people did not know about this, but the toy did. So let's bring him in. There he is. I don't know if I'm going to keep him in combined mode or individual mode, because the longer you keep him in combined mode, the more stuck things can get, and then it just can break more easily, I think. So I don't know if I want to do that, or if I want to keep him in individual mode and wait for the Action Toys one to come out to be able to do stuff with that one. But so far, this thing is freaking cool. Even though it's the smallest Voltron we've got, it's pretty cool how it comes together. I mean, 3 robots into one giant one. Like I said, and you got unlimited combinations. Black, blue, red, black, red, blue, red, black, blue, red, blue, black. Oh, you can go all and on, and you can change everything around. You can make him have 6 arms. You can make him have just 2. However you want to do it. In the cartoon, it just looks like he has 2 for sometimes. But you can make it however you want. But that is it. And it's in really, really great shape. And I'm glad I completed it. If you wanted to complete a very good condition Voltron, you're probably going to be spending upwards of $600 to $800 to be able to complete one of these guys, just because of the rarity of this one right here, the blue one, because the blue one seems to be the one that breaks the most. That blue plastic was super fragile, and that's the thing, that's the con about this, that it is, the engineering is so specific on it, you've got to follow the instructions. You can't just kind of make your way willy-nilly around it, or you're going to break things. And so that's what I had to do with just cautious. I had to think about it, because I'm like, this isn't a $14.99 toy or a $14 toy like it was way back in '83. This was an expensive toy that I had to be gingerly about. And so the only thing I'm going to research more is the bottom here. If these legs can pop in a little bit more, I don't know. We'll see if it does. But very, very cool. I know someone 3D printed where you can get some of these swords, and then the Japanese version of this, the fists actually fire. So the American version, we don't get that. You can see there's holes. There's holes for where those fists are supposed to fire, but they took that mechanism out, welded those fists in, and that's why we got this, because kids choke on things. And so that would be kind of my dream, is to get the Japanese version of this, just to be able to have one that has the fist that fire, but that's going to take me winning the lottery or something to get that guy. But on a scale of good, bad, awesome, this is freaking awesome. I didn't have it as a kid, but it does bring back nostalgia feels. I mean, just cool, big old school anime robots fighting, saving, and defending the universe. And I think this is really, really cool. And if you're a Voltron collector, you definitely need to add an Albegas to your collection, whether you get this one or whether you get the Action Toys one that's coming out soon. On that, I would definitely do so. So that is all I've got to say about this guy. So thank you very much, and if you enjoyed this video, consider becoming a member of the channel and maybe giving us super thanks or just subscribe. And those that are doing that already, you are awesome. Thank you so very much. But in the meantime, tune in next time when we talk about something else, good, bad, or awesome. But in the meantime, y'all remember to stay young, have fun, and be awesome. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye now.